Welcome back. I just want to give you guys a quick update. You've probably noticed that I haven't been putting out as much content as I typically do over the last few weeks here, and it's just because I've mentioned this before. I don't know if I mentioned on these podcast videos. I mentioned it in one of my other videos for sure. The Christmas season, from Thanksgiving to Christmas, is the busiest time of year for me in my real job, my real world job. It's our peak season. We're right in the middle of that. It's got 2 weeks left, and so time for me has been tough to find to do all this content, so I've had to back off a little bit. And then this time of year the weather is awful. It's like right now it's like 15 degrees outside and it's snowing. So even if I had the time, the weather's not great to get out and record videos. And then when I get home, it's dark in the evening, so I don't have the daylight I need. I am working. I'm trying to secure an indoor facility, and if I can do that, that's a game changer because that now gives me the ability to record the throwing videos whenever I have time, and that'll help keep me on track, especially through the winter. I don't mind the cold. I've thrown the cold in the past. I can get through it. It's one, the darkness. I can't throw out when it's dark, and two, it's finding the time, right? Having the time. I'm working 6 to 7 days a week right now, so as that starts to wind down here in a couple weeks, I'll start putting the content back out consistently. Got plenty of bags for you to review, some new bags, some new releases, a lot of great content that I want to get out to you. I just have to have the time to record. So bear with me a little bit longer and I'll start getting back to my consistent video output. So I apologize for that. I hope you forgive me on that. However, I did want to get this podcast episode out this week. We had an ACO Open in Richmond, Virginia this past weekend. I wanted to kind of give you a recap on that. I want to talk about the ACO Major that was in Fresno, California this past weekend. There was a fight in the TCL, the Texas Cornhole League. We're going to talk about that a little bit. From the ACL Open, I now have some more data to put into the Bag Makers Championship and update the standings for you guys. Let's go and jump in. First, I'll start with the recap of the ACL Open in Richmond, Virginia, and just give you a quick rundown on this. And in case you didn't see it, in doubles, Eric Davis partnered up with Ryan Wiedenfeld. They're not normally partners, but they partnered up. They were throwing the Wizard L's, Ryan's Wizard L's, and they beat Ethan Farias and Tony Forbes in the doubles championship. And I believe Ethan and Tony were also throwing Wizard L's in this event. Kind of two teams that are not normal partners that paired up here. I really thought this year the opens actually count towards the pro points and the pro standings. So I thought we would see less of random partners. I thought we'd see more of the team staying together. Now, some of it may have to do with scheduling and traveling and so forth, and whether or not partners can make it. So I don't know how many opens actually count before the pros can max out their points. So there's going to be a few where they can do this. I don't mind it. Like, it's kind of fun sometimes seeing different partners pairing up and seeing different players throwing different bags. Like, you don't normally see Eric Davis throwing the Wizard L's. You get to see him with some different bags. Same with Tony Forbes. That's not his normal bag. So you got to see him throw some different bags. So, and then in singles, Jackson Gore defeated Mark Richards for the singles championship. Jackson was throwing the AAR Rippers, and Mark Richards, I believe he was throwing the Lucky Bag Snipers, the regular snipers, and not the pro snipers. I tried to look at it. Yeah, I was having a hard time zooming in on the video as the live streams are watching. But it looked like the regular snipers that Mark Richards was throwing in the Open at Richmond. In women's, Cheyenne Bubenheim beat Gina Ramirez. Cheyenne was throwing the Titan darts. Gina's throwing the Dragon Bags Power Dragon. And so Cheyenne got the singles title there. And then in women's doubles, Cheyenne and Gina partnered up, and they were throwing the Titan darts as well there. In juniors, Logan Dupler won with the Wizard L's, and Damon Dennis took down the seniors division. I don't know what bags Damon was throwing. I couldn't find the live stream of the seniors championships. I'm not sure. I mean, Damon's sponsored by ACL Cornhole, possibly the Game Changers. I'm not sure. So if you know what he threw, let me know. I'm not sure. Then we'll jump over to the Fresno Major, the ACO Major in Fresno, California. There was no stream for this that I could find. I never saw the ACO stream this, which was odd to me. Kind of a side rant here is the ACO has a ton of majors. One of my gripes to the ACO is they have a ton of majors, and they have, I think they have a few they call super majors, like 5 or so they call super elevated majors, but they have a bunch of other, like a ton. Almost every weekend there's a quote unquote major. And I hate the fact they're all called majors because they all don't matter the same. And this is a perfect example where in Fresno, there was no stream. Like they weren't streaming the content or the matches, which is something they would do in other majors. So it really felt like a lesser tournament. And if you're going to call them all majors, I feel like they need to get the same quality. I get it. Fresno is a haul to get someone out there on the West Coast, but I'm sure there's somebody out there. There's a bag maker or somebody that would love to sponsor the main court and put a stream together. It doesn't have to be, top notch professional. I mean, you can throw together a pretty you can throw together a high quality stream very easily on a low budget. I mean, I've streamed my local league from time to time, and it doesn't take a lot to put together a stream. You can do that pretty easily. I'm sure there's a bad company out there that would have loved to sponsor that or done that. I don't know. I mean, maybe they were, maybe there wasn't, but it also raises some red flags to me because they're going to bring the ACL Worlds in a few years out to Oregon. If you can't get people out to stream in California, how are you going to get people out to stream in Oregon? I get it. It's the Worlds. You're going to put more effort on that. But I'm just saying, if you've got to make, if you want these West Coast players to show these tournaments, you've got to make them feel like that tournament is just as important as a tournament in Kentucky or on the East Coast or wherever. You have to really make that feel like it's the same tournament. So I really was disappointed in the ACO on this. On the single side of it, Kelsey Heitert beat Adam Yang, and that was for the overall singles, not the women's. Kelsey won the overall. On the ACL side, you had a junior and Jackson Gore win the overall singles, and then on the ACO side, you had a female and Kelsey Heitert win the overall singles. I love that. That's one of the great things about cornhole is we can all compete on the same field. Like, there's really not a physical advantage or anything. We no matter who you are, you can compete. You know, whether you're a junior, whether you're a female, whether you're a senior, whatever, you can compete and play at the highest level and win. And this goes to show it. Love that. On the double side, John Fent and Scott Swinson defeated Kelsey Heitert and Chase Puckett. Kelsey had a wonderful weekend in Fresno for this. Then on the women's side in the ACO, Ashley Irvin won that. Scott Swinson won the seniors, and Braden Conley won the juniors for the ACO Fresno Major. Now, one thing I want to mention and go back to the ACL Open at Richmond was, I don't know if you watched it, you probably saw the Cash Chamness versus Jamie Graham match. If you didn't, go to the ACL's, the American Cornhole League's YouTube page. They clipped just that match and cleaned up a lot of the dead air time in there and kind of the walking and really trimmed it down as best they could. Still like a 45-minute long match. It was 40 rounds, 41 rounds. I can't remember. It was incredible. It had great shots from both players. It was an incredible match. I highly recommend, if you're a fan of cornhole, go watch that match. I'll try to remember to put a link to it in the description. But if I don't, just search American Cornhole League on YouTube and you should see it's one of the most recent videos they put out for Cash Chamness versus Jamie Graham. The only thing I want to talk about that is another thing, as I mentioned, Cash Chamness is, I think, 9 years old. He's a junior. Jamie Graham's not that old. I think he's still in his 20s. I mean, but he's had a really great career in cornhole. You know, in the discussion for the greatest ever, right, to play the game. And he's not even close to being done his career. He's going to put up a lot more records, break a lot more records, put a lot more stats. Really, he's got a great future ahead of him. But you have Cash Chamness at 9 years old, who's not even a pro yet. He's in the elite division. Basically, I mean, he played some last year, I think I remember, but this is kind of his first really full season out there, and he went head to head with Jamie Graham. I guess I won't ruin it for you who won that one, but it was an incredible match. It was awesome to see. It's hard not to root for Cash. The kid has every shot out there. He's got the skills. He has everything. I think not really in this match. It was great in this match. I've seen him in some other matches. I think sometimes it's the mental side that can kind of defeat him. He gets really down on himself when he misses a shot or something doesn't go right. I feel like sometimes it's just that mental side, and that's experience, right? As he grows and matures and plays more games, and really that's the stuff you learn more from losing. The more matches you lose, you start learning. You start toughening up your mental side, and I think that's just going to come with time. I'm not saying that to knock Cash whatsoever. Phenomenal player. He's got a bright future here. The question I bring up to you guys, I'm curious, is if you've watched that, you know how good Cash really is. Is he going to stay an elite until after college? Like, he's 9 years old, so he's going to have what 12, 13 years of elite before he can go pro if he waits until after college. That's tough. That's tough. I mean, I think that's the right move, because if he stays that way and keeps playing, he'll get a free ride to college somewhere. Somebody will give him a cornhole scholarship. That's already starting now. There are schools out there. Winthrop is the main one. There's schools that are giving cornhole scholarships. I think by the time Cash gets to college, there'll be a lot more schools offering full ride scholarships to go to college, which is a wonderful thing. That's a decision that he'll have to make, and his family will have to help him make, if he wants to stay on the elite side and wait until after college, or if he decides to go pro early. Although I don't know, the ACL is starting to weed out the juniors from the pro division, and that may not be an option he has. It may be another year or two, and there are no juniors at the pro division. You have to be 18 or older to get the pro, and if the ACL does that, that solves the dilemma, and the problem goes away. Because for the gambling side of it, that was the other thing. For the gambling side of it is, if Cash had won the Open, then one, you can't bet on him. So if he wins the Open, then I think they're actually they at DraftKings at one point was giving the money back. If a junior won, they gave the money back, which was weird to me. I don't know why they did that, because technically you didn't win, right? And if you think a junior's going to win, you just don't bet, right? If you think there's a junior's going to win an Open, you don't bet, because you're not going to win if that happens. But now they're actually paying out if whoever the highest finishing non-junior is, they pay that person out, which is weird to me. If you bet on for this one, Jackson Gore won the singles and Mark Richards second. So if you bet on Mark Richards, you actually got paid out, I think, for the win. I believe that's how it works. Odd to me. I don't know why they're doing that. That seems kind of weird. But again, that's the problem with having juniors in the pro field and playing in these top divisions, is it's kind of messing with the gambling side of it. So if you're into the betting side of it, you probably know the frustration. But anyway, it goes back to my point. I'm just curious to get your thoughts on that, whether you think Cash stays in the junior division until after college, or if he's going to turn pro sooner. Love to hear your thoughts. I mean, again, that's a question that we don't know the answer to. We may see an answer in a few years. Again, the ACL may answer it for us. I don't know, but just interesting. The other thing I want to talk about now is go to the TCL, the Texas Cornhole League. Some of you have probably seen this. If you're on social media, I'm sure you've seen this. This is the fight. And I'm going to pull up here and just play it. This is the last round. I'll give you a backstory after this, but I just want to go ahead and watch it. I'm going to play this, and as it's going on, right there in the black shirt, that's Matt Longoria, and then over in that white or gray shirt, that is Kevin Mesa. And if you look over Kevin's shoulders, a guy in a blue hoodie, a black hat, that guy is heckling. He's been heckling for multiple matches, just running his mouth. You see where Kevin turns around, because he keeps running his mouth and talking to him. And this is where it's going to start to get down, because Matt right here is going to put this bag in, and basically this seals up the win. Kevin has to collect that bag, and then look, Kevin turns around and just unloads, and then the fight breaks up, goes off screen. And the backstory is, I think this was the best 2 out of 3 in this final series. I think they played 3. I kind of went back. Initially, I just saw this clip, and when I saw this clip, I was like, Kevin's in the wrong. That was so wrong of Kevin. You can see he comes back here with a torn shirt. He was in a brawl. So, I mean, but Kevin can't. My initial reaction was, Kevin's in the wrong. The TCL should suspend him for some period of time for the rest of the season, whatever. He shouldn't have done that. Then I went back and I watched more of the matches before, and that guy heckling was just obnoxious, over the top. And honestly, somebody should have removed him long before that. Somebody should ask him to leave, and they didn't. That's on the TCL. After I thought about this, the TCL is the one at fault here, because they didn't step up. And the announcers in this match even kept commenting that guy was heckling. And if in the general things, it's fine to show up and root for and cheer on your favorite players. It's great about the TCL. You watching the TCL in one of these matches here, how many spectators there are. Go watch an ACL event and towards the end and see how many fans are left there. There's not many left on the ACL side. On the TCL side, they tend to hang around. So you have fans there. I'm okay if you're rooting for and cheering on and encouraging your player. When you're heckling as a fan, that's wrong. I love trash talking, but the trash talking needs to happen between the players. The players on the court, that's fine. And the other problem is that guy was heckling during Kevin's throw as he was in his motion. That's just kind of one of those unwritten rules, one of those things about courtesy, respect. You don't really talk in someone's throw, in someone's backswing. Some players can ignore it. You get used to it. It's fine. But in a match of this level, you don't do that. And so that guy in that blue, I don't even know who he is. I think they might have mentioned his name. I think they knew who it was, the announcers were. They didn't mention his name, but that guy needs to be banned from the TCL forever. If the TCL has any balls, they're going to step up. They're going to kick that guy out. He's never allowed back in a TCL event ever again. And that's what they need to do, because he should have not been to that point. The TCL also needs to do a better job of, the director or somebody should have gone over and escorted that guy out of the building long before it got to this point. So I don't even blame Kevin. After I watched that, I'm looking at Kevin held himself together for a long time. I don't think he's in the wrong. I think he was put in a situation that he shouldn't have. And also the TCL, the TCL doesn't have a pro players. So technically these are amateurs. If this happened in the ACL or the ACO and that was a pro player that did it, I think my stance is different. I think pro players I would hold to a higher standard. As an amateur player, I don't think you have that standard. So I because Kevin's not a TCL pro. There aren't TCL pros. I don't hold him to that standard, and I don't think he's at all responsible for what happened. I mean, should he have done better? Probably. But I tell you, most of you and me, I don't know if I would have held together that long. I think long before this into the match, I think I would have said something to that guy. I don't know if I'd have thrown a bag at him. I would have definitely said something to him before now and got him to shut up. I would ask somebody to remove him, whatever. Maybe that's what Kevin should have done, was asked somebody. But again, the announcers knew it. The announcers acknowledged it. The announcers didn't at least get somebody over to have the guy removed. And that's on the first and foremost, it's the TCL's fault for not handling it. Second, it's the guy in the blue hoodie. It's his fault. I don't even blame Kevin at all. Again, I just don't think he's at fault. I do think the TCL needs to ban that guy in the blue hoodie, the heckler. He needs to be gone. Never, ever allowed back at a TCL event, ever, period. Like, that was over the top. That was wrong. I don't care. They need to do something about that. So hopefully the TCL stands up and supports their players. I mean, again, look, it's great for the TCL. I'm talking about the TCL. It's all over Facebook. People are talking about, any publicity is good publicity. They're getting a lot of run for this. People are aware of it. People are watching it. People are watching that clip. So in a way, it's good for the league, but it's also not good for the league. It's not good for cornhole, because if I'm outside of cornhole, this is a highlight that you would see, and it just gives the sport a bad image, right? They think, they already think that there were a bunch of drunks, playing a backyard game, and then you see that, it just kind of adds to that stigmatism. It takes away from cornhole ever being a professional sport in most people's eyes. So definitely need to clean that up. Hopefully that doesn't ever happen at an ACL or an ACO event. Hopefully the TCL learns from this and takes steps to prevent this from happening in the future. As long as they learn from it, I'm okay. Again, mistakes happen. We always make mistakes. It's what do you do after those mistakes? What do you do to prevent that from happening again? What do you do to fix that? And that's where you have to go. You can't go back and correct it now, but the TCL can make changes to prevent this in the future and protect their players, right? And that's what they need to do. The TCL needs to protect the players on the court before the players have to take something in their own hands. That's my thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you agree with me or not, drop a comment down below. Again, I'm curious to hear your take on it. If you haven't seen it, that's your first time seeing it, I'd really love to hear your thoughts on what you think about it and what you think should be done after that, right? Let's jump in. Before we jump into the Bag Makers Championship, real quick, a couple shameless plugs. I don't do this a lot, but I do want to throw this out there. If you want to support me, you guys do a great job watching my videos. I love that. Again, the number one thing you can do is do what you're doing right now. Watch my videos. And if you're here to this point watching, you're one of my more loyal viewers. I love you. I appreciate you doing that. Continue to watch. That's the best thing you can do. If you haven't done it yet, I'd love you to hit that subscribe button for me. Not a big deal. The view is more important. The subscribe is not as important, but I'd love to have you hit that if you haven't done it. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't really affect you at all. You're still going to get the same recommendations you do. It just kind of helps me on the back end and in the YouTube algorithm for how they promote my channel, how they view my channel. It just benefits me that way. The other thing, if you want to support me further beyond the views and subscribing to my channel, you can support me financially through Ko-fi or Patreon, kofi.com/MikesBags, patreon.com/MikesBags. $5 a month. I only have one tier. That's it. It's $5 a month. Basically, it gets you a little bit more direct access to me. So if I get a message through Ko-fi, I'm going to try to respond to that first before anything else. I try to answer all the comments. I try to answer all the emails I get. But sometimes it just, like, the comments get overwhelming at times, and sometimes I just can't catch up to all of them. The way YouTube does it on my end, when I log into it's called YouTube Studio, and that's kind of the creator side of YouTube. And I log into that, it shows my comments, but it always shows the most recent comment first, not the oldest. So if I get busy, like right now, and I'm busy at work, and I may go a day or two before I can log in and check, I start going down the comments and trying to respond to the ones I need to respond to. But if yours was kind of bumped down because maybe you commented yesterday and I had a lot of comments today, I may not see that. I try to go back through and read them all as best I can. So just understand, if you put a comment and ask a question I don't answer, don't be afraid to shoot me a message or ask me again. It's not personal. I'm not trying to avoid you. I may have just missed it. But on Ko-fi, if you support me on Ko-fi or even on Patreon, if you shoot me a message there, I give those people top priority because they are the ones financially supporting me. I also do a giveaway every month. I haven't done November's yet. I need to do that. Hopefully I'll get a chance maybe this weekend to do that. And I give away at least one set of bags to anyone who supports me financially on Ko-fi or Patreon. I put you in a drawing. I give away a set of bags. I usually do an apparel giveaway as well, whether a hoodie or a couple Mike's Bags t-shirts. So I try to give away bags and apparel on that as well. So if you want to support me there, $5 a month gets you into a free raffle, basically. I say free. $5 a month gets you into the raffle that I do, as well. It supports me. And that money that comes through there is what actually allows me to put on this extra content, to buy the bags. I have a lot of great bag companies that support me. Send me bags to allow me to review them. That's awesome. But there are companies that don't, and there are bags that you want me to review that aren't being sent to me that I have to go purchase. And so that's what that money comes in, allows me to go purchase those bags so I can give you the reviews that you're wanting to see. Support me there, Ko-fi.com/MikesBags, Patreon.com/MikesBags, if you want to. I'm not begging you. I'm not asking you. You don't have to. You can just watch my videos is all that matters. The last thing I mentioned is TeePublic, t-shirts. I have t-shirts, hoodies, apparel. You get stickers, mugs. They have a lot of things there. It's teepublic.com. You can go there and search for Mike's Bags and find some of my items that I have up there. I would prefer you to go on the link in the description of this video or on any of my social media profiles. There's a link there. If you click that link, it'll take you directly to my shop on TeePublic, which has all of the designs I have up there. The shirts there, you actually pick the design you want. You pick the type of shirt. They have different types of shirts as far as quality level and the materials they're made out of. You pick the shirt you want, you pick the design, you pick the color you want, and then you pick your size, and it gets made for you. You can also, every design is available: shirts, t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, short sleeve shirts, hoodies, tank tops. There's even like women fit, female fit shirts. There's kid size shirts. Then you can also get like coffee mugs and stickers and I think magnets. There's a whole lot of things you can get with all those designs, and you can pick what you want. They've been running a sale through the holidays. I don't know how long it's going to be on. It's a great time to do it. But if you go through my link, it takes you directly to my store, and that helps me. Anything you buy off my shop, I get a little small percentage back. It's an affiliate link. It supports me. It doesn't cost you anything else. But if you go through my link and then buy something, I get a little extra back because TeePublic sees that I referred you. So highly encourage you to go through my link if you're going to buy something. And again, it's not all Mike's Bag stuff. There's other just generic cornhole stuff. TeePublic has a ton of just shirts out there. They're not even cornhole related. So if you're looking for a shirt, you're looking for a gift idea for somebody, and maybe it's not cornhole, if you click my link and then go there and then search, I still get a little something back on that purchase anyway. So, but if you buy from my store, it helps me even more. So anyway, I thank you guys so much for the support you've given me. It's truly humbles me. It's more than I expected. Last thing I want to jump into here is the Bag Makers Championship, because we had the Open come through. Let's start with the doubles side here. And on the doubles side, we had doubles, we had Eric Davis, Ryan Wiedenfeld win, and they were throwing the BG Wizard L. So BG got the win again. BG has really been dominating the doubles. If you see here, they're at 52.5 points. All Cornhole's in second with 35 points. 12 points is the most you get for first place. That's the most you can get. So it's going to take All Cornhole at least 2 more opens if they want to catch up, and they're going to have to win those and hope BG has a bad week or doesn't even place it all in the top 12, right? So it's interesting. BG is definitely dominating in the doubles division. Once you get past it, I mean, all Cornhole's at 35, and then you get to Ultra and Cornhole Scenario, and that's Ultra's at 24 points, Cornhole Scenario's at 22.5, Titans 21.5, Lucky's at 21, AAR is at 18.5. So those right there, those are all like a really close, tight knit for kind of third place down below, right? First place is right now locked up by BG. Second place, All Cornhole's got a pretty good hold on it. Not saying that those can't change, but then third place on down, it's a fight, it's a battle. I'm excited to see how it goes. You'll see here on the graph too, is it's color coded, with each open, how many points that each company scored. And BG, again, I mentioned it before, BG is the only bag company that is placed in the top 12 in all 5 of the opens. Again, that's surprising to me. Probably the most surprising thing is that I thought there'd be more companies that were consistently. So BG's the only one that's been consistently placing in. Now they didn't place. They've only won 2 of them, of the 5. They won. In fact, they won the last 2 up until open number 4. They hadn't won one at all, but they've won the last 2 now. And so we'll see as BG holds on here. I mean, we're still not even halfway through. We're right at that. We're kind of midway. We're almost midway. There's 6 more opens left, so we're kind of almost at the halfway point. Anything can change here going forward. And as we get closer to the end of the opens, I think that's when players start ramping up, because they're getting closer to those signature events, which is the big events, those 6 signature events after open number 11. So I think as we get close to the end, we'll start seeing more players in their top form, taking it more seriously, and maybe that'll give us a better idea of where these bag companies stand. So right now, BG is dominating the doubles side. Now on the singles side, a lot closer here. Love the singles race. Really excited. We got 3 bag companies right now really fighting for the top spot. BG is at top with 47 points. But AAR is sitting there second with 46 points, 1 point behind, and then Lucky's in third at 40.5 points. 3 bag companies there within 6.5 points of each other. And AAR has won the last 2 opens. They won with Jackson Gore here, and they won with, was it Jacob Trzynski? Did he win the one before that, I believe? So they've won the last 2 opens, and they're really making a run. Again, BG is the only company that's placed in all top 12 in all 5 of the opens, which is why they're still sitting at first. After open number 6 here coming up in January, AAR could take over the top spot here. So it's really exciting. I'm really looking forward to how this race plays out. And then after you get past Lucky in third, you have Titan with 25 points, Ultra 23 points, Cornhole Center 21 points, Brotherhood with 18 points, and then like even all Cornhole 13 and Fire with 12. You've got a lot of companies there vying for that 4th place on down. I mean, any of those companies still could have a run these next 6 opens and take the win here. So it's not a lock in either singles or doubles. It's still opened up. I love the way it's playing out. It's interesting to me how the difference between singles and doubles, right? You've got kind of the same top teams, top back companies sort of up there to some degree, but where they rank and where they're playing out, it's just interesting to me. And as a fan, as someone watching this, which one matters more to you, singles or doubles? When you're looking at this, it doesn't matter. Does this have any influence on you on what bags you're buying? Are you watching this going, man, there's BG's dominating doubles, I need to go buy their bag, or AAR's won the last 2 opens. I think both players threw the ripper in those. Are you looking at maybe I need to go buy a set of rippers because these pros are dominating with them? Does that have any influence on you? I'm curious to know if the bags they're throwing matters to you, if you're paying attention to that, or if you're just enjoying watching the competition. So that's how it's played out. Again, this bag maker championship is pretty cool. I'm enjoying doing it. If you're enjoying it, let me know that you like it. If you want to see, as we get closer to the signature events into the season, I'm going to tweak the points because those last 6 will be worth more points than what these opens. I don't know if I'll be double them, maybe 1.5 times. I'll have to figure that out. But I want the signature events to be worth more because they are a bigger event, and then the World Championship will be worth the most points. So again, it's still time. I mean, a bad company's not even on the list now. Could win 3 or 4 of the signature events in the World Championships, and probably could win the whole thing, depending on how the points weight goes on that. So we'll see. I'm trying this out. If this is successful and enjoy this, you guys enjoy this, not me. If you guys enjoy this, I'll do it again next year. We'll keep it going. So I love your thoughts on this as well. Do you like the championship? Do you like what's going on here? Or do you just not care? That's all I got for you today. As always, I truly appreciate the support you guys have shown me, and I thank you so much for watching.